Hello everyone, welcome to Yoga for a Healthy Spine. We'll start in a seated position in the middle of our mat. Place your hands on your knees and just connect to your breathing. Now inhale your arms overhead and close your palms and look up and try to extend your spine upwards. Reach, reach, reach. And on the exhale, plant your right hand behind you and twist to the right. Don't force it and strive to turn from your spine and not at the cost of your shoulders. Gaze is over your right shoulder. Keep your shoulders away from your ears and chest open. Inhale, come back to center, arms overhead, and exhale, switch sides, placing your left hand behind you and twisting to the left. You can leverage the twist by placing your right hand on your left knee. But again, do not force the twist and just let the spine follow the movement that is actually designed to make. Steady breathing, even and smooth. Inhale, once again, arms overhead. Extend your spine. And on the exhalation, place your right hand by your right thigh and bend to the right, extending your left arm over your head. Feel the stretch on the left side of your body. Gazes into the left armpit. Remember to keep the both sitting bones on the floor. Inhale, back to center. And exhale to the left, placing your left hand by your left side and bending to the left, extending your right arm over your head. Inhale, back to center, extend your spine, and exhale, place your hands back on your knees. And just observe the sensations happening in your body, the space being created in your spine from this simple twisting and bending. You stay where you are. I'm gonna switch to the profile view so you can see me better. We're still seated, cross-legged. Now interlace your fingers behind your back, drop your chin towards your chest, and draw your shoulders away, squeezing the shoulder blades. You may stay here, or you may try to lift your hands and keeping your arms straight and strong, draw your hands away from your body. And feel the extension, feel the space created along your spine and your neck. If you feel any strain from your chin being low, being close to your chest, you can bring your chin parallel to the floor. If the extending your arms becoming a little bit intense, you can plant your hands back on the mat behind you, keeping your arms straight. Now let's add a slight rotation of your neck with the chin still being low from the right to the left. No strain, no force, very gently, just creating some mobility in your cervical spine, in your neck. Now bring your chin to parallel level and start bending your neck from right to left. Again, no forcing, no strain, just gentle stretch of your neck muscles and gentle creation of space in your cervical spine. And one more to the right and one more to the left. Come back to center, release your arms, inhale one more time overhead, and now come to all four, to the tabletop position, wrists under your shoulders, knees under your hips, tailbone is tucked and stomach engaged. Now on the inhale, we're going to drop the belly, open the chest and open the throat, coming into cow. And on the exhale, we're going to round our middle back and come into cat. Inhale, drop the belly, open the chest, open the throat, and exhale, round your back through the middle. Inhale, open the chest and throat, drop the belly, and exhale, round into the cat. One more inhale into the cow, and exhale through the middle back into the kitty cat. One more inhale, open your chest, and exhale, round your back. Come back to center, tuck your toes, lift your knees, and send your tailbone to the sky. Come into a down dog position. Your hands are strong and fingers are spread. Your triceps are active, so your elbows are not bent, and your upper body is melting to the back. If your toes or the knees are bent, it's totally fine as long as you maintain the alignment of the upper body surrendering to the back and your tailbone striving to reach the sky, striving to become this perfect V. Stay here for another 5 smooth breaths in and out through your nose. Now lift your head and start walking your hands towards your feet. Once your hands are right under your shoulders, stay here. So it's a very facilitated forward fold. Your wrists and shoulders in one line, your ankles, knees, and hips are in one line as well. We're gonna stay here for another 5 smooth breaths. Now slowly roll up to standing by one vertebra at a time, and inhale your arms overhead, maybe add a slight back bend. Come back to center, release your arms to the sides. One more inhale overhead, maybe a back bend, and release your arms to the side. Last one. Inhale, stretch, extend upwards, maybe to the back. And come back to center. Release your arms to the sides and come to the top of your mat. Feet parallel and hips distance apart. Chest is open, chin parallel to the floor. When mountain pose, grounding pose, pose of stability and foundation. Now inhale your arms again overhead, and then on the exhalation, bend your knees, send your tailbone to the back, and come into this chair pose as if you're sitting in a chair. Make sure your knees are not trekking past your toes. You can bring your hands at a prayer position, or you can extend them upwards. Engage your inner thighs to bring stability to the pose. Press into the big toes to shift the weight to proper alignment. Keep your chest open and your shoulders away from your ears. Exhale, forward fold. Inhale, look up and lengthen. And on the exhalation, step back into a plank. Wrists and shoulders are in one line. Your one diagonal line from the heels all the way to the crown of your head. Make sure your inner thighs are engaged, your abdominal muscles are strong, and your gaze is down in front of you on the floor. Now on the next inhale, turn to the left and place your top foot either on the floor by your bottom foot or on top of the right foot. So we're coming into a side plank pose. If this is yet too challenging for you, you can bend your top knee and place your top foot right in front of you, aligning your knee and ankle. Arm is extended, or it can be placed on the top side of your body. Exhale, come back to a plank pose and switch sides. So now we're rotating to the right. Again, your top foot could be right by your bottom foot on top of it, or placed in front of you with the bent knee, ankle and knee aligned. Come back to center. And now exhale, squeezing your elbows to the sides, come to Chaturanga and slide into an up dog expression. Maybe open your throat. Engage your inner thighs and lift your hips. Exhale, tailbone is going up and the upper body is melting to the back into the down dog. Now lift your heels, bend your knees. That will maybe accentuate the sensation in your back. Maybe now walk the dog, creating some dynamic movement. Once again, lift your heels, bend your knees, and start with engaging your quads, straighten your knees, and then maybe proceed to planting your heels. Now inhale and step forward with your right foot. Drop the back knee, untuck the toes, and twist to the right, extending your right arm to the sky. Maybe you want to accentuate the twist and come into a high lunge by lifting your back knee. Maybe your hands are still on the floor. Maybe you want to bring them to the heart center in a prayer position, or you want to come into a bind if it's in your practice by reaching with your right hand behind your back and clasping to your left wrist. Remember to kick through the back heel if you're in a high lunge to keep your muscles engaged in that leg. Now release the bind, rotate your toes facing to the side of the mat and come into this half squat. Place your hands for more support and lean heavily into that front heel. Lift your bum and switch sides, coming into a low lunge on the other side. Drop the back knee, untuck the toes, and rotate now to the left, extending the left arm to the sky. The same principle works here. You can stay in this low lunge, or you can lift your back knee, tuck your toes, and come into a high lunge in this twisted position. Keeping your hands, either one on the floor, one extended to the sky, or bring them to your heart center, or again, come to a bind if that's in your practice. Remember to keep your hips as square as possible and kick through that back heel if you are in a high lunge position. Release the bind, plant your hands, rotate your toes once again and come into a half squat on the other side. You can keep your hands on the floor for more support or bring them to your heart center. Now let's bring some movement to this half squat by shifting the body weight from one side to another. Keep your feet planted and use your hands for support, maybe sinking forward with your upper body coming into this wide-legged forward fold. Your knees may be bent. The main thing is that we want to create an effect of traction in our spine by absolutely surrendering the upper body to the gravity, to the force of the earth, creating space in our spine by letting it to decompress in this pose. You can adjust the width of your stance, bend the knees as much as you need to create the sensation of decompression and relaxation in your upper body. If your head easily plants, maybe you need to shorten the stance so the distance is greater from your hips to the ground. Try to maintain a steady and smooth breath. Don't count the time till when you get out of the pose, but try to surrender and to enjoy the stretch. Inhale slowly, roll up to standing, arms overhead. And release to your sides. Close your feet, heel, toe to slightly further apart than hip distance and come into a full squat. Again, you can adjust the stance for your comfort. If your heels are not planting, maybe use a block under your bum for more support. Because again, we want to surrender to the gravity, keep the weight on our heels, keep the spine long without rounding in our lower back. And if you can, maybe bring your palms to your heart center, pressing your elbows into your knees, also working on that hip opening. Now, sit down on your bum and open your legs wide as you can. Feet are flexed. Flexed feet protect our knees and also keep the muscles of our legs engaged. Maybe gently twist to the right, keeping the spine long, shoulders away from your ears, and to the left. Again, working on creating that space in our vertebra. Now bend your left knee and bring it as far away as possible. Your heel most likely will be touching the opposite thigh. Keep the foot of the extended leg flexed and start bending to the right over that right leg, keeping the knee straight. Maybe use a strap or a belt to hook onto that foot to facilitate, to leverage the bend. If you can reach with your hands, then hook your fingers to that big toe and bring your body into this bend over your right leg. Feel the stretch of your left side. So as you noticed, we're mainly working on mobility of our spine. We're moving the spine all the ways that it is possible to move it naturally. And mobility is the key to the health of our body and our spine. Let's switch sides. So now the right knee is bent. Bring it as far away as possible. And start bending over the left leg while keeping that left foot flexed and left knee straight. It might be even just a micro bend of your upper body over that left leg, and that's fine. It will eventually increase. Flexibility builds slowly, but it stays for much longer with you. So let your body take its course. As always, props like straps come very handy. If you can't reach your toe, you can hook onto your foot, extended foot, with a strap or a belt or a towel. And enjoy this wonderful stretch now on your right side while we are flexing, laterally flexing our spine and to the left. Inhale and come back to center. Straighten your knees, extend your legs in front of you. We're coming into a staff pose. Place your hands at the sides, or if your arms are a little bit longer, you can shift your hands slightly behind you. Your feet are flexed, chest open, and chin is parallel to the floor. And connect to your breathing. When you're ready, come out of the pose and lay down on your back. Bring your heels close to your bum. Keep your feet parallel and hip distance apart. Press into your palms, and on the inhalation, lift your hips high into the sky. Keep your neck completely relaxed. You have 3 points of contact of foundation in this pose. It's your shoulders, your palms, keep pressing into your palms, and your feet. So your neck should be absolutely relaxed. Also, please do not turn your neck while in this bridge pose. Keep your knees parallel and about hip distance apart in order to maintain that distance. Engage your inner thighs. Exhale and slowly lower your back to the floor. Maybe shift your knees to the left and then to the right without trying to stack them or place in any particular way. It's a so-called windshield wipers movement. Now bring your knees back to center. Extend your arms, press into your palms, and on the inhale, lift your hips once again to the sky. Neck is relaxed. Maybe to bring more stability to your shoulder girdle, your shoulder foundation of this bridge pose, interlace your fingers and extend your arms, pulling down towards your feet. That should bring more stability to the shoulder part, shoulder foundation of this pose. Release your hands and slowly lower your back to the floor. Draw your knees to your chest. Maybe wrap your arms around your knees. Now, point the soles of your feet to the sky. Come into this happy baby pose. Try to keep the tailbone on the floor. Your knees open and striving to lower down towards the armpits. Shoulders kept on the floor. And it's a wonderful back release and a hip opener. If you want, you can also roll from side to side, massaging those muscles going along your spine. Or you can stay static, motionless. Release your feet, keep your knees bent, and place your right knee down on the floor so it's right under your hips, and cross over with your left leg, knee bend to the right, supine twist. Your arms can be extended to the sides at shoulder height, or be placed maybe on top of that top knee for more leverage. Strive to keep both of your shoulders on the floor while in this pose, and your bottom knee and hip in one line. Steady and smooth breathing. Now come back to center and let's switch sides. Now place your left knee right under your hip on the floor, keeping them in one line, and cross over with your right leg, keeping both shoulders on the floor. Gaze maybe in the opposite direction, in this case to the right, if you want to bring some movement, some ability to your cervical spine. If you want, you can extend the bottom leg or keep the knee bent. The main principle here is that your knee and your hip are in one line. Release. Come back to center. Maybe adjust your bum, maybe wiggle a little bit. Draw your knees to the chest and straighten your knees so your feet are facing to the sky. If you need to keep your feet slightly, your knees slightly bent, that's fine. If this is a little bit challenging for you, you can place a blanket, a rolled blanket, or a bolster, or a cushion under your sacrum, and that will elevate your pelvis and make this pose a little bit more comfortable. Or you can also extend your feet along the wall if you are inside, not like me, by the river. Maybe you want to wiggle your feet and bring some movement. Now release your legs, extend them on the floor. We come into our final pose, the final relaxation. And relax your entire body and surrender to the force of gravity. Feel how your heels are becoming very heavy and pressing into the ground. Relax your ankles and your knees. Feel a pleasant effects of lubrication of your knee joints, the space we created through this practice. Move higher to your hips and feel the heaviness of your hips, of your pelvis, and feel how it's voluntarily surrendering to the floor, to the ground, into the earth. Move along your spine and visualize the space we created in each vertebrae through decompression and movement. We moved our spine through this practice, all the possible ways our spine can move. Our spine is designed to move for the health of our body. Feel your shoulder blades heavy, pressing into the ground. Feel how your neck is absolutely relaxed and the back of your head is heavy because it's surrendered. Your fingers are relaxed, maybe they're slightly curled, maybe your palms are facing up, or maybe they're pressing into the ground. But notice how there is no resistance created in your body, and how the energy that we generated, nurtured, and cultured through this practice is flowing and healing your body. When you're ready, turn to either side and push off to a seated position with your top hand. Come into a cross-legged or come onto your knees, whatever is possible. If needed, prop your bum with a block or a blanket. Now place your right hand on your heart, on your chest, and your left hand on your belly. Feel the breath. Feel the energy and the goodness created through this practice. May it heal your body and your mind. Thank you for practicing with me today. Be happy and be healthy.